Hello, hello, welcome back. My name is Tolly Bryn. This is The Joy of Awareness. Today I wanted to make a video talking about the importance of knowing where you're going, of knowing the path, so to speak. And the reason I wanted to talk about this is because after healing myself through fasting and a simple diet, like I've talked about in my older videos, I kind of lost sight of the path, of where to go, where I was going, what I wanted to do with my life. And I came to the weird realization that even though I had managed to overcome chronic illness that I'd been dealing with for many years, just quite miraculously, actually, I had been told it was incurable. I'd been given all kinds of pills and treatments in order to help with the symptoms, but all the doctors were in agreement that it could not be healed, whatever it was that I was dealing with. So when I actually managed to heal myself by following just some very simple methods, I was pretty amazed, and it felt absolutely miraculous. And when I came out on the other side, I was super pepped. I was just really, motivated for my life. Finally, like I had gone through a long period where I just simply couldn't live my life to the fullest. Like I could hardly live at all. Actually, I couldn't work. I couldn't exercise. I couldn't do anything really, and it sucked. It really sucked. And the first few months after I came out of this healing crisis, I was just super motivated to just do everything well. I paid off my student loans. I started exercising like a maniac and got into really good shape. Started pursuing dates and women, and met a really cool girl who I dated for a while. And life was going up. Everything was getting better. But then somehow I kind of fell into a pretty weird funk where I was just like, okay, so I've healed myself. I'm healthy now. Now what? Like, what's the point of all this stuff? Like, what's the point of all this that I'm doing? Like, why did I heal myself in the first place? And honestly, that's pretty weird. That's pretty weird to start thinking that way when if you're dealing with chronic illness like I was dealing with, then you'll know that the only thing that your mind has room for is the thought, when I'm better, I'll be able to do X, Y, and Z. Like when I'm healthy again, I'll be able to, travel the world, or I can build the body that I want, or my finances will be better, or I'll meet my dream partner, or whatever it is. And it was just, there was some kind of disillusionment or something where I came into the world as basically a new man, with a healthy body and a healthy mind, and full of energy, and I didn't know where to take it. Like, I didn't know where I wanted to go. And that's why I think it's incredibly important to really develop a vision for yourself and for your life, because it honestly, it was quite traumatic for me to not have this stuff figured out when I came out of the illness. It's just so weird even to talk about it and to think about it, because you would think like I would be elated and I would stay elated for a long time, but there was a period of a year or two where I was just like pretty depressed and pretty lost, honestly. Like I didn't know what to do with myself, basically. And I was working and I was doing all kinds of stuff, but I wasn't really happy and I wasn't really feeling fulfilled, and I didn't know which direction I should be going. Now, thankfully, as I thought about this issue and I started really putting some effort into figuring it out, and wrote a lot in my journal, and just kind of setting out a plan for my life, this particular problem got way better. And it's just such a silly problem. Like, you have this life, you have this body, and for me, for instance, I finally had this healthy body that I'd been craving for so long, and you have this unlimited potential for growth, for creativity, for just amazing experiences in the world. And somehow we get stuck thinking life isn't really doing much for me. Like life isn't really worth it. And it's really sad, honestly. And I think I got a very clear picture of this coming out of that illness. I got a very clear picture of the sort of derp state that I was stuck in. And I think I'm certainly not alone in feeling this way. I think this is more the norm than anything else, that people are kind of floating through life on autopilot. And maybe what it took for me was just this kind of punch in the gut of like long-standing chronic illness and then a sudden recovery. And that's what it took for me to kind of like look back and like, wow, I really don't have any purpose in life. And yeah, it's not a good place to be. We want to have purpose, and we want to know the path that we're going to follow in life, because otherwise we're going to get lost in the woods. Basically, we're going to get lost. We're going to make mistakes, stupid mistakes. Like it's fine to make mistakes on the path, but it's way better to make a mistake and still be taking a step in the direction where you want to go, rather than just make a mistake, just because, and you just kind of wandered, off into the woods and just kind of got lost and broke your leg or something, and you weren't really headed anywhere, and it's just silly. And what really helped me to figure this out, and when it came to healing especially, like it was actually kind of a gift, the chronic illness, because for half a decade, 5 years, I had a very laser focused purpose. I had the purpose of getting healthy, and I studied and I worked and I tried out different things and experimented with diet and with fasting and all this stuff, and finally figured out a solution that worked for me. And once that purpose was fulfilled, I really hadn't kind of thought about what the next steps would be. Like I had a path out of illness. And once I reached the destination, I was just like, well, now what? Like, where am I going to go? So what I really needed to do was just sit down and consciously think about the problem, and think about like the potential that I had, and like what kind of life would I like to be living if I could choose anything. What would I like to be doing? And when I was younger, that would have been like, I want to be a rock star, and I want to like travel the world constantly and do all these different things, and that's all fine. Like I still want to travel way more, and I love playing guitar and all this, but at the same time I'm like, well, that'd probably be fun, but is it really what would fulfill me the most? And as I thought about this, I started realizing, like, no, I don't think so. Like I don't really think that being a rock star or whatever, like for a while I also wanted to be an artist when I was way younger. Like I was pursuing art and studying illustration and all this, and back then I was like, yeah, I'm gonna be like really a really good draftsman, and I'm gonna learn to draw super well and just make awesome art, and nothing wrong with that either. But I was approaching it from really a place of fear, and by that I mean like I was really doing it from a place of seeking validation, which in the end is a feeling of fear, because what's underlying the seeking of validation is the fear that you're not good enough as you are, or that if you don't do this specific thing you won't be good enough, something like that. And I just realized that I was attempting to live my life for somebody else. I was attempting to live my life to meet some standards that I had not set for myself. And nobody else had consciously set these standards for me either. It was just some ideas that I had made for myself, and decided that this would make me happy, when in fact it was pretty clear to me that it wouldn't make me happy. It would not make me happy at all. However, I decided to take a different approach, and when I was writing out my goals and trying to figure out what it was that I wanted in life, and just what would really fulfill me, I realized that if I can make my pain into my purpose, if I can make my wounds from the past into the way that I decide to pursue, then that would really, that could really, really make me happy. Or fulfilled even. Not just happy, because happiness is fleeting, and that's fine. But fulfillment is something that I really want for my life, and I want it to be lasting. So that's part of the reason why, or that's really the main reason why I started this channel, and I've been doing all the work for Joy of Awareness that I've been doing, is simply because I had some experiences, and I reached some insights, learned some stuff that I know can help people absolutely change their lives, just as I did for myself. And even though, like, yeah, I healed myself and then fell into depression because I didn't know what to do with myself, and that sounds like a stupid problem, but that's what happened. And like, by continuing to do this work that I'm doing, making these videos and writing these books and all this, I'm hoping that I can help lead somebody else out of the pit, and you know, maybe even avoid the pitfalls that I experienced myself. And I feel like that's a noble goal, and that's a noble thing to do. And there are definitely more aspects to all this. There's more that I want to do, and like, one of my main goals is boundless energy and boundless creativity, because I really believe that we as human beings have just limitless potential, and I really am interested in discovering what that means and what that could manifest as in my own life. Like, if I can continue doing this trauma work, for instance, this emotional work that I've been doing, overcome deep hang-ups and really deep-seated programs built on limiting beliefs, like, what could my life look like? And that's really the purpose of these videos and of this channel, is to kind of just work through my own stuff, build an awesome life, document it, and then do my absolute best to mediate this information to all of you guys. And I just really, I feel so strongly about what I'm doing here, and sometimes I feel kind of lost, and I'm kind of like, oh, well, is this really valuable, and is this really something that I should be pursuing? But I really think it is. I really think it is something that really needs to be done, and this is stuff that needs to be said, and there's not that many people saying it. And there's some awesome people out there, writers and journalists and you know, movie makers and all this. They're doing awesome stuff. And there's just so much abundance and so much room for improvement, and so much, like, there are just so many people in the world. There's just so much potential in the world. And one more voice of reason and truth and beauty in the world can only be a good thing. So I think I'll end this video on that high note. If you enjoy my stuff, please like and subscribe. That really, really helps. Share my stuff if you possibly can. Just share it on Facebook or wherever you think you might have people who'd want to listen to this kind of stuff. Check out my books also. You can go to joyofawareness.com and check them out there. They're also on Amazon. They're called Health Simplified. and Mind Reclaimed. They're awesome books. You'll love them. I guarantee it. Finally, you can check out my website as well. That's joyofawareness.com. Got a lot of articles on there that you will definitely love if you enjoy my stuff here. But apart from that, I will just say peace out and love you guys. Just stay healthy. Follow my protocol. If you're dealing with autoimmune issues, start fasting, start eating simply, and you will see amazing benefits. I promise. Check out my older videos for more info on that. But see ya.